Frankie Music.
Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be removing intake on a 2011 Audi A3 and water pump replacement. Let's get right into it. So I'm going to take these off to get to this because this is bolted down to this. I'm going to take these off. There's another bolt. There's one here. And there's a couple underneath here. There's one underneath here. So you can't be able to see
You
with the
can't
camera.
see that.
This is number 30. There are 4 T30 bolts to be removed. Now I'm gonna take the fuel line off. That's the number 17 here. I'm gonna turn to my left. Loosen this up. And some fuel is gonna be coming out. Take this off to make it a little loose. Put some pressure. It's gonna take this. Put the screw back on here. That's a safekeeping. Take the bolt number 10. Back on here. And take this off. Get this out of the way. My little pick tool always come in handy. So pull on it. This is off. And now this. Move this out of the way so I can get to the other one that you really can't see, that's way down the bottom. Right there. That screw right there. I have to get to that one. There's two more bolts on the here. I want to take those out. Take these out. There's other bolts on the very bottom. They pretty much look like this. So I'm going to have to go ahead and get those. So this is the tool I'm about to use. I made this together. This is a number 30. With my little extension from Milwaukee, and this just pop onto here and use my little socket to get to it. So I'm gonna switch it out. But this you really can't see. That's why I showed you earlier. See right there. In order to get that one, so just see how we have to aim right underneath here just to get to it. So you have this one down here. So this was another, but this is a number 10. So you have one on this end and the other one on the other end, and then you have the bolts in the middle. So you have to be careful before you might drop them. So we got those out. So everything is out from there. So now the next step, now all this is loose, besides there's a bracket on the bottom. I have to lift the car up to show you the bracket on the bottom. And I'm gonna take this off now. Loosen that up. The other ones, all the stuff I need to get off is gonna be from the bottom. I could pretty much take this off, but I'm gonna take that off from the bottom off also. But I'm gonna raise the car in the air just to get everything else off. I'll raise it up now so I can be able to get to everything else from the bottom and start pulling the rest of the stuff off. Take this pump out. Take this off. We'll pull this off. So remove this. Now I want to get this out of the way. So might have to put a tie strap on it. This here's a bracket. I gotta get this bracket off. So to get this bracket off right here, take that loose, and then once I take that loose, I'm able to remove it. But at the same time, I gotta take this one off, so I could just pull up the whole intake valve. So I'm about to get the right one for that. I'm not sure the number on that. I think this is too much. This is a number 10. And I got this, I bought this thing here, Harbor Freight. So a little socket set up here. And just turn it the other way. Just gonna get it in there.
So I'm leaking out now.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull this. Sure, this is that's coming off of the intercooler. So this is the coolant line. All the coolant coming out of here. So I'm gonna lower it back. Pull this off. this off. There's a clip here I need to take off. Let's go into the flashlight. You see it? It's over here. Right there. When I pulled it apart, I noticed that this sensor was cockeyed and they had this plastic piece in here. This plastic piece somehow blew out and it sits in here, but it's no good. So I have to pretty much take it off because all the coolant was coming out right from here. And this is a new water pump that I put in, but I should have put in not plastic and put them. It comes with plastic, but I should have put in a metal one in. There's a bolt underneath here. Take this off. And this you can pretty much like pry it off of here. You gotta be careful, these fins get messed up. You get a screwdriver and try to pry it off. Or
That should be it, right? Can't see that.
There was this one underneath here. You couldn't really see it underneath this, which is my problem from the very beginning. So this, I'm gonna put this one in. It's already have the washer inside of there. The washer's there. So I'm just gonna just drop this in here and put on. This is the metal one versus putting on the plastic one. The plastic one didn't work out for me. So just drop this in here. And just make sure that it lines up properly. All right, so now it's in there nice and tight. If you can just zoom in and see, it's sitting perfect. All right, so now this part here, I want to got a new one. So the old one was pretty good. It was new, but I'm not gonna use it. This one is a little bit, look like it's a little bit thicker versus that one. Let's see if it sits in there. This looks like it's too thick. The myths gave me the wrong one because it doesn't seem like it sits in it. No, it doesn't sit in there. So I'm gonna have to return that one. And let's go back with this one. This is also new. I just got it about a week ago. So, but what made this thing fail was that plastic piece that holds it in place. So I'm just gonna put this one on there. Don't let any I don't want no grease to get on it. But I'm gonna rub a little bit of antifreeze around it. Just drop it back in there. So now I'm just gonna put the bolts back in and start bolting everything back up. And I have to put this back on. This you could just, the same way I got it off, you could just pry it back on. That's what I'm gonna do, is pry it back on to get it back on in place. So I'm gonna do that in a couple seconds. All right, so I was able to get this back on. It was a little tricky getting on, but as long as you get the belt back over here and then put it on, then I'm just gonna start putting everything back together. So put this cover piece back on. Put this back in. All right, gotcha. All right. So that's on. Something is not 100%. Put these bolts back in. So I'll tighten everything back up. All right, so this, I had to move this so I can get this line that's back up in here. Right behind here is a screw that takes you straight. There's a hole that takes over here too. There's a screw. Let me see if I could line this up so you can see it. See that screw there? So that goes there. It travels through here to get to that. So that's one that you would have to move this out the way to get to that screw. So there's some screws here behind here that you have to take apart right there, and then pull this apart. There's another screw here that I'm about to put these back in here. I covered this because I want them to go in there. That's where my oil filter goes. And then I'm gonna put some screws back on here for these wires. And then this bolts back up underneath here, back on here. And then connect all these wires back on. So I'm about to do that. And then after that, to put this back on, but I'm thinking I'm gonna put a catch can on here because it's a lot of oil coming from here, and then it goes from it goes from here and it goes back in here. But once you get in here, there's a lot of oil coming back straight down. So I think I'm gonna put a catch can, definitely. So I'll do another video for that. Tighten back up these bolts. Tighten all these back up. Alright, I'm about to hook up back the fuel line. Let me see if I can zoom in on that fuel line. So that right there takes the number 17. That you have to make sure it's pretty tight. About to put this oil filter back in. Just gonna grab a little bit of oil off of that and just get a little oil on that. This airbox back in. I was just putting back on the cover and securing it back down. So I have this bolt that needs to go on that bracket right there. And then after that, I can start putting the hoses back on and line it back up. But that's like a tight spot to get that bracket. Let me see if I could zoom in on that. So that's a bracket that the bolt needs to go on there and tighten back up. So this I can't do. It's gonna be in the way, so I'm just gonna show you after. All right, tighten back up the pipe coming off of the intercooler. Now, all right, plug back up the pump. May need to change.